You are now tuning in to the Going North podcast with your host, best-selling author and professional speaker and member of the John Maxwell team, Dominic Dom Brightman. And every Monday and Thursday, we're going to hear the voice of a different author sharing their gifts, stories, and expertise to help you charge forward in life. Now let's get on with the show. And today on the Going North podcast, or it's the era of returning guests, baby. It's the era of returning guests. Today is no different. Because one of the top 10 episodes of last year is back. Baby. He's back and better than ever because my man right here, the CEO, or should I say the former CEO of FreeUp.com and his good buddy Connor, they were able to scale and sell their company known as FreeUp and actually take that to a whole nother level by outsourcing it. And not only that, they also were able to start their new venture now called Outsource School. So my man is doing it, baby. My man is doing it like honeydews and Mountain Dews. So let's give it up for the one, the only, Nate the Great himself, Mr. Nathan Hirsch. How you feeling today?
I am feeling great. How are you?
Doing great, man. Congrats on the new victory, man.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. It was definitely a crazy end of 2019, but I made it, and I'm excited for new things.
Yes, indeed, man. Because we shot on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, and you told me that you were no longer the CEO of FreeUp. Like, oh shit, what happened, man? And I was like, oh, okay. Wait, it was actually a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we had one of our clients reach out to us at the end of 2019 and say, hey, we've been a client of FreeUp. We love the platform. We love the services. We want to get into the space and we don't want to start it from scratch. So would you be interested in being acquired? And they ended up making us an offer, which we felt was more than fair, if not aggressive. And from there, the due diligence began. And they had a lot of questions on us. We had a ton on them. We reached out to them to ask about their past businesses, about how they treat customers. We got to go to their office and meet their internal team there. And we really only wanted to sell it to someone who would take it to the next level and treat people well and not ruin the relationships that we had spent a lot of time building. So we were very impressed. We made sure our internal team was taking care of both their jobs, and we took $500,000 from the sale and gave it to our team in the Philippines to thank them. And that was by far the hardest part of selling FreeUp, is not being able to work with them anymore, although we still talk to them and we're still good friends with them. And I mean, it's tough to turn down something that you think is going to be a win-win-win for everyone. So we went through with it, and now that that's over, we're working on this new project, Outsource School, which we're really excited about.
Heck yeah, man. And that really takes true leadership to be able to show the appreciation for your folks like that. They give them even more as a parting gift on top of all the work that they've done for you for years.
Right, exactly. And I mean, we couldn't have grown it without them. They put in hours and hours of work, lots of ideas, lots of feedback, lots of helping us build systems and processes, and they deserve every penny.
Heck yeah, man. And you mentioned aggressive, so they didn't come at you with a virtual baseball bat, did they?
No, they were super nice and professional. And I mean, even after the sale, you're kind of crossing your fingers, right? That everything you kind of heard before wasn't BS. But even after the sale, they've been great. We've been checking with our internal team. Our internal team loves them. So I think it couldn't have worked out better.
Amen to that. And that's one of the best feelings ever, because when you build up something so well, if I'm not mistaken, it was 10 years, right, of outsourcing?
Well, yeah, I've been outsourcing for 10 years, but FreeUp, we only started 4 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Even then, with 4 years of a company that size and be able to make the impact that it has, it's kind of like your baby in a way. It's like, all right, it's like sending them off to college in a way.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we have no experience taking a business from $10 million up to 50, and Mark Hargrove and David Martin have tons of experience, and we think that they're going to do great things with FreeUp. And Outsource School is actually partnering with FreeUp and continuing our relationship. They think that our education that we're providing is going to help their clients. And we direct people that go through Outsource School that FreeUp's a great marketplace to hire. And we even offer some FreeUp credit as part of some different courses that we offer. So again, just continuing that win-win even after the sale.
Sweet. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that's actually going to be needed now more than ever because everybody's basically a virtual employee now, except for certain people.
Right. I mean, and the world was going remote anyway before Corona, but I feel like Corona has just kind of accelerated the path.
Yeah, it's like you're basically being thrown out your house. Like, all right, get outside, buddy, into the virtual world.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, if you're not using virtual assistants right now and you're an entrepreneur, I mean, you're missing out on so much. And I mean, there are so many people out there that have either never done it, don't know how, and I was there once, and I wish someone had given me the exact processes to interview and hire and train and manage. And there are people out there who struggled and they just need to be corrected. And there's people there that have been doing things okay or pretty good, and there's just some advanced things that they can do to make it even better. So we kind of look forward to helping all different kinds of people.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Because it's going to be needed now more than ever, especially with the communication piece. That's just always important, especially with virtual work, because it's not like you're face to face. You can't read facial expressions unless you're doing it like over Zoom. Most likely it's going to be over email or some kind of chat box or something.
Right. I mean, it's all about remote communication. Communication's key. If you can't communicate at a high level with people remote, I mean, you're going to struggle in what the business industry is going to be going forward.
Beautiful right there. So, any advice for those in this new era to communicate well with folks remotely?
So for me, it's all about figuring out what communication channels you like and making sure that you use them the correct way, and that you whatever way that you want to, and that you teach other people to use it the same way that you do. For example, I use email, I use Slack, I use Viber, and I use email for responses within a business day, not urgent stuff. I use Slack whenever I'm working, I'm on Slack. Whenever my VA is working, they're on Slack. Same thing with my business partner. And so we all the day-to-days on Slack, all the meetings are on Slack, and then we use Viber for emergencies. So if someone's Vibering me at 8 p.m. on a Friday over something small that they could have just sent me an email, I need to correct that. So it's all about establishing what the communication channels are and making sure everyone on your team is using them the correct way.
That's true right there. And that's so important from the beginning and getting to that point, making sure folks use the right communication channels. Because I mean, it probably took a bit for you to get to decide of all right, so which tool I'm going to use in addition to email to really make sure this thing is as seamless as possible.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I've seen so many times throughout the 4 years of FreeUp that people were using email just to communicate with their VAs and no other communication channel. And that only gets you so far. You need something like Slack. You need something like Skype. I actually used to use Skype for years, and I eventually moved to Slack. You need that for the day-to-day communication, or you're really going to struggle.
Yes, indeed. So for those who have no idea what that Slack is, mind going deeper into Slack for the folks still needing to learn?
Yeah, I mean, Slack is a fantastic tool. I mean, I just started using it this year. Not only can you integrate it with different things, it's a lot faster than Skype. You don't have to deal with getting locked out. Like I got locked out of Skype so many times over the years just because I send a lot of messages and it's not really meant for like mass business messages. And it's just a great way to collaborate both internally and externally.
Sweet. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, because I've been on the platform a few times before, and someone invited me to the join our Slack page, and it was really interesting how everything was set up. It was almost like its own separate social media.
Right. Yeah, it really was.
So with this magical outsource school, what's the main thing you want folks to take away when they start with going to outsource school if they're at the point now where it's like, all right, I'm doing everything on my own. I'm not sure what I should be doing because I need to scale, but I've had bad experiences with folks in the past and they haven't found FreeUp yet. What's probably the best advice we give them to take away from using outsource school?
Yeah, I mean, we're dividing it up into software into courses, and our software is not going to come out for another 30, 60 days or so, but we're building an SOP building software. Imagine a Loom, but a lot better for creating SOPs, both in text and video that are very dynamic, that can be stored and transferred easily to your virtual assistants. But the courses are what's out now. And we have our main course called Cracking the VA Code, which we teach you our exact process for interviewing, onboarding, training, and managing virtual assistants. at a high level. And then off of that, we've got our new podcast outreach formula, which teaches you how to use VAs to get on podcasts. And then we're launching our lead generation formula, which is using virtual assistants to do lead generation for your business, to get more clients, to get more customers. And we're launching another course on how to use VAs for bookkeeping. So we've got our main course, which teaches you the basics and our systems and our processes, which is so important. And then we have specific courses that are going to teach you how to use a VA for certain parts of your business. And then we're also going to come up with different worksheets, like how to set up a VA for partnerships, something that's cheap, that's $47 or $99. That's kind of a blueprint. We actually call it our playbooks, so you can set up like a partnership program, like we did such a great job at FreeUp of doing, which is a big part of why we scaled, and how you can not only set it up, but get a VA to manage it. So lots of awesome stuff coming through Outsource School.
Awesome right there. Awesome right there. And it's beautiful that you added the podcasting piece to that, because I'm guessing make sure you added that piece of the course so that way is a marketing tool, I guess, for the companies, depending on the company.
I mean, I've been on a lot of podcasts, as you know, and I use VAs to help me do it. And so I think podcasts are something that can help everyone's business, no matter what's going on. I mean, never mind when funds are tight, usually it's free to go on podcasts. So great way to promote. And for me, people aren't taking advantage of it. And you can do it no matter what industry you're in, whether you're in marketing, whether you're selling bartending equipment. Like, you can go on different types of podcasts in your niche and become a brand authority figure to a large customer base very quickly. It's good for backlinks. It's good for networking. And it's something so easy to set up with a virtual assistant that a lot of people are looking over.
Yeah, that's true indeed. That's so true indeed. Because a lot of folks, they will go to maybe a traditional PR firm or somebody they've been referred to, and they wouldn't even think about using a virtual assistant to try to get on podcasts just to market themselves and their business.
Yeah, it's such a good tool. And I bet so many great people. I built my network. I built friends. It's great for referrals. It's good for affiliates. It's good for just backlinks and SEO on your website, like I said before. And it's just a great way for people to know about you. I mean, I can't tell you how many conferences I've gone to where people say, oh, I heard you on this podcast. And it's a great way to just get in front of audiences that you wouldn't be able to otherwise.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. To be able to level the playing field, indeed. So you mentioned cracking the virtual code. That's what I'm talking about, because a lot of folks want to do that. And it's 1.0 edition, so folks might want to get in on that now before it gets to 5.0.
Yeah, well, anyone who buys the 1.0, if we come out with a 2.0, 3.0, whatever it is, you just get free access to any of the upgrades going forward. It's more for us to just keep track of what version it is.
Beautiful right there. Beautiful right there. So with all these podcasts that you've been on, especially with your new venture with kind of the outsource school, is there a question that you wish folks would ask you more often when you're on these podcast interviews?
I've been asked everything from to sing a song to what my favorite like reptile is. I think I've been asked like, the craziest questions out there. I mean, for me, I don't know. I'm such a unique entrepreneur. I'm very high energy. I'm very fast paced. I love to try new things. I try to stay away from what other people are doing for the most part. And I mean, for me, that's the part of being an entrepreneur that gets overlooked the most, the trial and error, the experimenting. And I think so many people are looking for the answers, for that quick switch, for someone to teach them what works for their business. And the truth is, what works for one business doesn't work for another. So there's a certain element of trying different things and seeing how they work. And I think that's something that I wish more people would take away from my message and just from following me over the years.
Heck yeah, amen to that, because life's a testament to that, especially over this past decade, man. Like a lot of it was experimentation and rapid pace, just improvement.
Right. I mean, we didn't spend $100,000 on the software and then take it to market. We got it out there with a $5,000 crummy software with FreeUp and listened to feedback and ideas and slowly made tweaks and thought of our own ideas and added them and built it little by little over time. And 4 years later, we're looking at a great company that we were able to sell. So it doesn't always have to come from your head up front and a huge investment. You can get something out there and slowly tweak it over time.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because that's really all that it really takes for the most part when it comes to just growth, period. Because you've made those small tweaks as you went along, and it's not always the big leaps that really happen all the time. It's usually the small tweaks.
Right. 100%.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, since this is your second go around on the podcast, you get the extra special question that the round two guests get. And that is, if you were to give the last keynote message of your life for the next 90 minutes, and everybody had to pay attention to you, and if they try to look on their smartphones unless you tell them, they'll basically be turned off and have to focus on you. What would that message be?
To treat people well and don't get to the top by yourself, whether it's taking care of your internal team, whether it's not screwing over a business partner if you have an opportunity to, whether it's honoring your word to partners and people that you meet, whether it's just setting up a network call with someone who maybe hasn't had the success that you have, that reaches out to you and needs 5 to 10 minutes of your time or 5 to 10 minutes of your advice. Do it. Help people, be nice to people, don't screw people over, and honor your word. And if you make a mistake, like we all do, especially in the startup world, just own up to it and make it right and fix it to the best of your ability and move on. And that's really my overall business philosophy.
Amen to that, folks. Amen to that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. No fancy funnel, just treat people right.
It's really what it's about. It's a relationship game, especially in the remote world. It's so easy to build relationships with people now. And a lot of people aren't taking advantage of that, or they're doing things to harden their relationships on the short term, and they don't realize how that's going to hurt them going forward.
Heck yeah, because it comes back to bite you in the arse real fast.
Exactly.
It's a big, small world. It's like, oh, wait, that person? Oh, okay. Oh, man. Well, solid right there. So for those who want to keep in contact with you, we're going to put it all in the show notes. But for those who want to keep in touch with you, what's the best way for folks to reach out to you?
Yeah, so I'm one of the easiest entrepreneurs to contact. Nathan Hirsch on Facebook and LinkedIn, the real Nate Hirsch on Instagram and Twitter. Go to outsourceschool.com, join our newsletter if you want to follow our journey. And we also have a free VA calculator that shows you how many VAs you can afford if you go to outsourceschool.com/VA calculator.
Woohoo! There you have it, folks. Going out there, get that case study. It's nice and fancy and pretty with colors, and it's big print too. So if you don't like wearing glasses and looking like a librarian, it's definitely a great quick read to get you up to speed. So there you have it, folks. So any parting words for folks still listening, man?
Yeah, I mean, this is tough times. Stay positive. If I can help you in any way, reach out and just hold down the fort. We're all going to get through this together. The world's going to look a lot different afterwards, but it's a game of adjustments. And the people that put their head down and focus on improving their systems or processes and making adjustments going forward, they're the ones that are going to end up on top.
How's it going, you showstopper? It's great that you enjoyed this episode of the Going North podcast. If you really enjoyed it, be sure to shoot the guest an email or head over to the social media pages and leave them a nice response that you heard them on the Going North podcast, so that way they can continue to be inspired to do great things. And be sure to share this podcast with others that you think would enjoy it as well, because we want to inspire as many people as possible to live their dreams, embrace them, and to do something positive.